What's happening, all you stoners and stonettes out there in YouTube land? Today I'm going to bring y'all a little medical marijuana update about the stuff that's happening in Washington, D.C. I woke up this morning really psyched, really positive, like, I'm going to go to this meeting and it's going to be this great thing. The meeting I'm talking about is the Intergovernmental Subcommittee of Medical Marijuana, and they were debating whether to increase the limit from 2 ounces to 4 ounces. So we've gone through the scientific subcommittee and all the hoopla with that. Scientific subcommittee approved everything unanimously. Everybody voted for it. Great. It took them a bit long to do it, but they finally did it. So it was tossed over to the Intergovernmental Affairs Committee. And so they're the people responsible pretty much for putting it into things into place and monitoring best practices in other states and whatnot. So it should have been a no-brainer. The work had already been done. The questions that were asked had been answered with the scientific subcommittee, but apparently the intergovernment subcommittee did not have the access to or the wherewithal to even look up before they came to the meeting the report from the scientific subcommittee. One of the person, she said that she had been on vacation and is just now coming back, so that's why she didn't see it. Well, why are you having this meeting? And another person wanted, and another big thing in the meeting was they wanted minute notes from 2014, the last time they met. The program isn't the same since in 2014. The question that they were being asked, whether to increase the limit from 2 to 4 ounces, and whether it applies to all forms or just concentrated tincture forms, was not being even asked that time, because that time they didn't even have tinctures. The program wasn't developed enough to be on bud. But they still wanted those meeting minutes. That was important to know what people said 2 years ago. So, okay, fine, whatever. It was disheartening to see yet again people show up not prepared, not knowing what's happening. They not wanting to know the limits in other states. We went over this with the scientific subcommittee. Why does the intergovernmental subcommittee need to know those limits again? Why do the people need to stand up and say, hey, Maryland's limit is going to be 4 ounces? How do you not know that? Maryland's limit is right above DC. They should know what Maryland's limit is going to be. At the very least, know what's happening right next door. At the very least. Okay, forget what they think about what's happening in California or way on the West Coast. Know what's happening right next door to you in your own home, Just at least show the patients the respect like that, to show up prepared for their meeting. Rabbi Khan, one of the owners of Tacoma Wellness Center, was asked to leave the meeting because he had spoke out vehemently about the lack of preparedness by the committee, by how patients are suffering because of what they're doing, because of their feet dragging, because that they don't have their shit together when they go to work. Another person who was sitting in the audience said, if I showed up to meetings like this and this unprepared, I would lose my job. But these people, they're not going to lose their job or anything. So leaving the meeting, I'm like, man, I'm going to get myself a government job, because they actually are sitting on their ass doing absolutely nothing. So that's probably what I should do. But wait a minute, they'll probably disqualify me because of this right here. So I'm going to take a hit of this beautiful hash. I gave you the update of what's happening. The next meeting is going to be next week. They tried to schedule it for at the end of this month, but Rabbi Khan and the audience, no one was having it, so they pushed it up to next week on the 8th. So hopefully they'll have all the information they need, and it should be just a very simple up and down vote. It looked like the people there were gonna vote for it no matter what. They just wanted to be anal about things and follow procedures and all of that. Okay, fine, whatever. But they just need to remember people are suffering. So anybody out there, you can get your hands on some of this hash, you can do it. Let me know if you can stay stoned.